Hi, I'm Catherine, and welcome to Short Film Showcase. In each episode, we're going to show you a new film, and then we're going to talk about it with some of the people involved. I'm really excited today. The film is called Hum, and Jody O'Neill, who worked on and starred in the film, is here to join us. Welcome, Jody.
Hi, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I was going through your bio, and you have an impressive list of credentials. SNL, principal in feature films, and off-Broadway plays. So what made you decide to go from in front of the camera to behind it?
Well, I actually had, in the midst of being an actor, I took a very long hiatus to work in production. So I actually have a whole nother resume into television and film production as well. And I thought sooner or later I wanted to break out and make something of my own that I would be able to engineer from soup to nuts. And I had the opportunity back in 2013 to do that. So I thought it's better now than never.
Okay, so I read about that in your bio, that you were bequeathed the money to create this film. That's,
Yeah.
to me, that sounds like a huge honor. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
A little bit, yeah. It's a personal thing. It was someone who was very close to me and always supported my endeavors and what I wanted to do. And it's funny to hear you say it because it would be great if it was like some endowment or trust, but it was $1,000, and I knew that in the state of filmmaking today that I could use that money and go pretty far.
1,000 is better than nothing.
Yeah, you'd be surprised what favors and kindness get turned in. So we made it go as long as we could. I probably added a bit more into it for sure, but ultimately, yeah, I came up with a half-hour sci-fi comedy with that generous gift from someone who I wish was still here, but he is. It's dedicated to Richard Macon.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so sci-fi comedy. That is not a genre you hear about a lot. So what made you decide sci-fi comedy?
Well, around the time I had a flip-up phone, and I knew that I was under a lot of pressure to bump up, my game. But I'm one of those slow pokes. I always want, guinea pigs to try out the latest, and then I'll go a few models behind. So I was jumping off the fence to go into a Verizon phone, an iPhone, I should say. And at the same time, there were plans to build the 4G tower on the Cape, which was getting a lot of buzz. And so I did a little investigation, and I am still, even though I haven't investigated the topic in a while, not convinced that we won't find out that we've done damage to the human body and psyche from cellular intrusion. So I kind of took that and went off on a tangent with that theme.
Okay. All right, so that's what inspired the film, because that was going to be my next question, is you went from deciding comedy, sci-fi comedy, to what inspired this really unique film?
Yeah, I got some crazy ideas rolling around. So, the group of people I was hanging with then, my friends, it's sort of our sensibility that went into it. And I started just writing out some scenes and, reading them back with my friends who I put in the film with me. And, I just wanted to take advantage of where I live. Provincetown is amazing. It's renowned for Cape Light, for this amazing environment that we live in. The atmosphere, the beauty, of the place itself is really bewitching, and that sort of helped set set the frame for where I wanted to go. And I love all genres, but I'm particularly keen on sci-fi stuff.
Okay. All right, which I love sci-fi as well. Any
Yeah, try.
particular sci-fi influences? Because there's a lot, and there are a lot of differences.
Yeah, well, sure. Well, I mean, definitely goes back to, I mean, I like this sort of sci-fi horror thing. I saw a film that I really love. I tend to really like movies that people don't necessarily like. Like, for example, I thought Cats was great. And I'm not even just saying that. I really
Okay.
actually thought it was great. Um, Ditto Showgirls. But the movie that I particularly liked recently was a movie called Stephanie. And
Stephanie, I've never
yeah,
heard
I
of
don't
it.
yeah. It's I believe on Netflix, and so it's sort of the horror sci-fi genre has always really appealed to me. But I definitely go back like the rest of the world to 2001 as a huge influence as well.
Okay.
You know.
Well, these are some crazy times we're in. So it's definitely a little nice to, even though we're kind of living in a sci-fi film, add a
Yeah,
little comedy to it.
right. That's I couldn't agree more. I sort of can't really believe some of the conversations I have just at the gym,
Yeah.
you know, involving Jewish space lasers and all sorts of things that people bring into conversations that you would have written that and thought if you could maybe get a joke from it, but now it's an actual talking point.
Okay. So with all that said, why don't you take us into the film by telling us a little bit, and then we're going to show it.
All right, fair enough. So Hum is a sci-fi comedy about what happens when things go very wrong with the intrusion of a new cell phone tower on Cape Cod. And it has created a ripple effect that is serving to destroy people's minds. It's an oral intrusion, like AURAL. And and so the government has issued a mandatory evacuation, but for a stalwart group of artists and outcasts and renegades and rebels and people who are determined to stay for all their various reasons. My character, the painter, has very personal reasons at this point in his life, and so to be caught in that situation where you have the opportunity to maybe leave this world for another world is something that he embraces, and then inadvertently gets to.
Ooh, don't, you can't spoil it now.
Oh, I'm not going to spoil. I just wanted
Okay.
to bring in, but maybe I won't even bring in the antagonist. So we've got me. I'm a painter of the protagonist, and why don't we just leave it at that
Yes. Let's leave it
and
at
say
that.
that, yeah, say that I failed the elevator pitch, but it's okay.
Okay, because yeah, we're,
'Cause
we're still going to talk about it once everyone's seen it.
right.
All right, let's go to the film.
Commencing Friday, October 13th at 10 o'clock a.m., all citizens are required by federal law to evacuate the following territories of the 4th Barnstable District: Eastham, north of Aspinet Road; Wellfleet, Truro, North Truro, and the Provincelands, Provincetown. If you are experiencing a health emergency due to damaged ear canals, blocked nasal passages, blurred vision, or a compromised immune system due to exposure to the hum, please seek immediate attention at the VMCC.
McQuackin town. I got family in Worcester. What about you, man? I said, when are you crossing the bridge, man? When are you getting out? Never. Never? What do you mean, never? Mandatory evacuation tomorrow. You gotta get out, man. Wake up. You don't want to die here. I heard you quit painting. ID.
Hey! I heard a cricket last night. What? A cricket! Through the hum. It was cool.
The harvest in your mind, the pea in the pod. To what purpose would tiny pellets stay locked in firmament, bound to this ground by a damaged ozone? Denied are you in such a world your rich rewards. Arms folded man.
What the hell are you talking about? We came here because you said you could get the hum out of our heads.
Enough with the vegetable metaphor. Show us the application.
Yeah, show it. Show it to
yeah.
us.
Everyone will need the application to survive this sonar holocaust. But how many have brain power enough to isolate the auditory invasion and rise above the cadaver to a superior inner voice, when all attempts to silence the eco-pollutant have failed? That is, according to your president, Hillary.
Tell us something we don't know.
Yeah, like how are we gonna get on that bus tomorrow? My wife has vertigo 24/7.
We lost everything. The shop, the dogs.
The soil in our garden, it's like boiling porridge.
Did she say cadaver?
Let me relate what you cannot know. When I am complete, you may embrace the application or say other ways.
You got a strange way of stringing your words together, lady. Where are you from?
France.
The hum is life.
Train. Rest. Linger. On the day of Sunday, July 22, the year 2017, at a time that is 3:33 p.m., a probe from an Israeli satellite on a mission to eliminate space debris trapped in the Earth's thermosphere was intercepted by the International Space Station, which was conducting laser tests of its own at the time, and inadvertently redirected at the new Colony 8 cell tower, operating at Long Point on the banks of the National Seashore, a site secured through eminent domain in a deal between Verizon and the United States government.
Holy shit.
And woe to the Colony 8. 500 feet plus 78 in tall. Antennas, 82. Tragic target of this planet's silly space games. On impact, all cell phones die, animals run into walls, and into the atmosphere. A constant, irretraceable hum with no remedy in sight. A hum that spreads from tower to tower, town to town, until it devours the whole country wide. A hum that over the terrain varies in decibel, but is so insidious in the water that it puts the ships on the floor and the people inside to drowning.
He said it was a simple switching problem.
Some giant router outside of Nevada.
I hear it's in the landlines, too.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
It's just the hum in your head, you silly old fool.
Oh, fold your arms.
Who uses a landline anymore?
You can't hear anything clearly. Nobody can.
I can hear her.
Right. Even through the hum, she's as clear as a bell.
And we can hear each other.
Who are you?
I present to you the application, exhibit number A. Name and job, please.
Selena Silva, lab tech.
And how would you describe your state of current person?
My state of current person. Let me tell you something. My boyfriend left me because I refused to be his filthy Russian candy cane. Now he's with this blonde two-bit screaming pelican. Trust me, she's nothing but a Dutch oven-loving brown bagging bitch. She should run for VP on the Tea Party ticket. Thanks for asking.
And, ladies and gentlemen, welcome after.
My real name is Liberation Doll, and I feel G-A-T. Like you, I was wounded and imprecise. The hum was running the wheel.
We met by chance during ration hour at Stop and Shop. My patient zero.
All the cans of corn are dented.
A wretched creature in a soiled hospital smock with seriously compromised people skills. And today, a citizen of the new control. Useful to hear what she may wish.
Cotton balls be damned.
Ragtags, misfits, lives decidedly lowered. Embrace the application.
What's that?
It better not be makeup.
Paraffin balm, which, as applied with individual thumbs that are, as all imprints must be, on file with the National Register, creates a customized tonic of the mind. Your mind. Rids your mind of toxic distractions and human failing triggers.
I hear there are people in Wellesley with tumors the size of grapefruit.
Acoustic neuromas. Let's face it, these are microwaves buzzing around us, frying our brains out at 800 gigahertz.
Electromagnetic radiation, 30 years worth.
And yet, here you are, the holdouts, maybe 20 more, desperados cocooned on this impassable spit of sand.
How do we know this is safe?
All here in our officious report, like the application, free of charge. Americans like freebies, am I yes?
Well, that one certainly did a 180.
Well, I remember when she shot up the oyster beds out of Woods End.
There are a lot of pages.
I'm in.
Let's do this.
Remember this. Specific watchwords from applicator to applicant must be unique, stored in the mind's watchful eye.
That feels pretty good. Little popping sounds. And the hum is there, but also not there. What did you say?
I don't feel well.
Of course you do. You are enhanced.
No, I don't think that's it.
Do me, do me.
Hope this works on dogs too. I want Bob to have a chance.
Not for your cup of tea?
Something like that.
Then you are not an opportunist.
Correct.
Spiritualist?
Nihilist.
Ah, yes, the martyr. You find the role sexual, I may presume.
No, just fatal.
The hum will haunt you through your final rest and peace. Like a broken tether, will trail you into space, endlessly, out of reach.
And you're just the next fool with a jar of snake oil.
Shall we so see? 4 specimens, plus 1 dark man who paints over the truth, a non-starter. All are old, you know that. The young ones were sent out months ago, because the skull bones in the ones under 22 years in age are too unformed as yet. Do you not read my transmissions? Patient 0 is off the axis. I programmed her perfectly. If you think you could do better, make the journey of yourself. Speak in vernacular.
But I did practice my watchwords, and I put the taser into the light socket, but I still couldn't get a signal. It's like it's all mashed together.
You must maintain your through line.
I see myself at the ATM with a bag of cash.
Good.
And then in the next screen image, I'm at the edge of the pier, like a shaman with a message. Only I can't figure it out.
Stay with the mandate.
Oh no! What if those green bits floating in the bay aren't paisley sponges at all? What if that's my rent?
Listen to me carefully, Liberation Doll. You must place the hum outside. Be the filter.
Do the application again!
Desist!
You did it to me, and I did it to Arms Folded Man, and he did it to Alpha Wife. What if we're all dying in its wake?
Enough with the fiction science.
When will I want to eat solid food again?
Return to your domicile. Seal the exits and wait for further instruction.
My head feels so creamy.
Walk forward by counting in time. The nihilist.
Actually, I'm a painter.
What's this?
What?
This!
I don't see anything.
Why do you have a working flip-up cell phone?
I like to call my sister.
Where does she live?
Outside near Boston.
Outside near Boston?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Oh my God!
All right, welcome back. So the first question, when I started watching it, I was playing with my volume, trying to figure out what's going on. How many people came to you and were like, what was happening with my audio?
You know, you're actually the first person who has asked me in that way, or actually in any way.
Really?
There was, yeah, at my cast and crew screening, there was a guy who is a sound engineer for schools, and he had a very big job in New York City. He says, "I'm a sound guy," and he was a date for someone else coming, and he just could not abide by the film at all. It was just terrible for him. The whole idea of the sound issue, but yeah, it was obviously an intentional thing. But you're the first person who's actually expressed that they had problems that way. But maybe that's why I'm 0-9 for film festivals. That might be. You may be onto something, Catherine. Yeah.
Well, so I didn't have I was just initially like, what is going on? And then when it started happening, I got a very Walking Dead feel. Are you a Walking Dead fan? Was there influence from that?
Well, my nephew is the key grip on The Walking Dead, actually. So, yeah, I mean, I have to say, I can't say that I'm a real fan, but I've been in visiting my family down in Georgia. I've been over to the sites and stuff. I've been there. I've been in around. I've sniffed it out. Yeah,
Okay.
that's cool.
Okay. Yeah, because
They're
the
among-
way it starts off with nothing's going on, maybe even some tumbleweeds. I was kind of expecting, and then I saw a guy. I was kind of expecting a hospital bed and him to come out and no zombies, but it did seem like something. But you knew something was coming.
Yes, Dr. Claire.
Yes, Dr. Claire. So she was a really interesting character. So, are you okay? So one thing I have to know is, what was Dr. Claire's role? Because clearly she wasn't the person in charge, but she had the cell phone. What was her role?
Yeah, I think her role was to actually gather up all of the people who were not under the government control to bring them somewhere else. So unfortunately, she came upon the worst sort of force in the painter. So that was what I was trying to gain, was the idea of these two personalities being sort of the worst mix for her, but also for him, because he finally had to get the big boy pants on and turn the story and his life around. And when he turned his life around and got over the loss of Richard, and then is able to pick up the brush again and so forth. But the casualty, of course, is the other young lady who unfortunately does not make it. She's lost as a kind of Ophelia out in the fields there.
Yeah, kind of a Stepford Wives kind of situation going on with her.
Yeah, unfortunately, she was one of the casualties of Dr. Claire's scheme.
Okay. So because have you seen Stepford Wives?
Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully everyone out there has seen it. You know that the Stepford Wives managed to become real people again. Is there any chance, because I liked her, is there any chance that she gets to become a real person again?
That would be a great thought. The kind of fatalist in me thinks no. Oh. Have you ever, when you come out here and you go to like Land's End, you realize that, there's nowhere left. So when you're out there and you're picking the eelgrass in off season, and you're singing the ditties up there, and you've got the white gauze on, there's a really good chance that, the next step is ocean.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh.
But sure. Yeah. Part 2. I'll bring that back. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's pick that up a little bit. So what's next for you?
What is next for me? Well, I have finished a full-length play.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. My second one, but the first one needs so much work that I don't even consider it really done. But this I'm excited about, and we're going to have a reading of it at the Wellfleet Harbor Actors Theater this year.
Okay.
Where lot of work. My theater company, Sailor Beware, which is a very loosely organized theater company without walls, as most COVID theater companies these days are. But we were that way even in 2016 when we formed. We are in residence at Wellfleet Harbor Actors Theater, or WHAT, as we call it in Wellfleet here. And so we're doing workshops each month and putting out some new material, working with local writers to get some stuff together. So I'm excited about the play. It's called Word of Rich Relations, and it's a kind of a...
Say that again, word of what?
Word of Rich Relations.
Word of Rich Relations, got it.
It's a Southern Gothic swamp story, so it's probably right in my wheelhouse.
Okay. Jody, thank you so much for joining me today. I've really enjoyed it, and thank you for sharing Hum, a truly original film that I loved feeling that Walking Dead, Stepford Wives, man comes back and saves the world kind of situation. That was a really great, even though I still want the woman to come back and be okay.
All right. I'm gonna have a note card there. Thank you.
All right, so you're gonna make a sequel, just a little piece. She's gonna come back.
All right, I have to ring you up on ideas, but yes. That sounds great.
Okay, well, thank you. And thank you, Jody O'Neill, for joining us. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Short Film Showcase.